was home when you left. You're right. Your mommy, your daddy, your brother, your sister, the dog, the cat, the fish was home when you left. You're right. And that's the reason you left. You're right.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, men and women. Welcome to Attorney Commander Galpohkpa Chesson talk show. Today is January the 20th. I started my show a little late this morning on purpose. Today is a special day in America. Today is a special day around the world. So, let me put up my topic, then we can start with my class. Congratulations. God bless, strengthen, and guide the new United States President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris. Americans and America. To freedom of speech, criticism, and government. These are basically the 2 points that I have today. My third point would just be general discussion and conclusion of my lesson for this day. So, let's get into my lesson. Congratulations. God bless, strengthen, and guide the new U.S. President Joe Biden, Vice President Kamala Harris, Americans, and America. Out with the old, in with the new. Today is very special, not only in America, but across the globe. People around the world are rejoicing today because for 4 years, we have been in darkness. We have been living under a dark cloud of evil, racism, hatred, bigotry, race supremacy, and evil. Now, by the help of God, today will be the eventual ending of Donald Trump's regime. It will be the ending of racism, the ending of race supremacy, the ending of hate. We pray the Lord, our God, it will end today with the inauguration of our new president, Joe Biden, and our new vice president, Kamala Harris. I like to call her Kamala Harris. And this is a new day. It started off last night with that amazing memorial service to our 400,000 brothers and sisters who have died because of the incompetence, ineptitude, uselessness, incompetence, totally of Donald Trump. How can a president only be interested in making money and promoting himself above the American people? And when we have a problem where he can't make money anymore, our whole nation stop. Our whole government stop. How will you be able to handle only one aspect of our society? And when it comes to the main aspect of your job, securing lives, saving lives, preventing harm from befalling America and American people, you covered up, you chicken out, and you can't even handle this pandemic. You try to interject yourself into the CDC, turn it from a medical institution into a political institution. And now, in just 1 year, 400,000 Americans have died. This is unbelievable. This is unbelievable. And during the whole election, this man was only concerned about winning, concerned about the numbers, concerned about lawsuits, trying to overturn the result. Your own courts, your own judges denied you, told you no, you cannot overturn a legitimate, fair, free election. The best election that has been ever held in the United States of America. Why? Because we had to ensure that we get rid of Donald Trump. We had to ensure that the masses of Americans turn out to vote so we can get rid of this darkness that is over us. This darkness that wants to destroy our constitutional democracy that has lasted for 4 centuries. 4 centuries. Now, yet is one man with the underbelly of American society want to overturn our election, want to betray our country, want to be the frustrated president to turn our country over to the Russians, to turn over our country to the North Koreans. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Jesus. And we can't stop now. As our country comes together, starting with last night, the memorial service, those 400 lights that were on the plaza, signifying the remembrance of our 400,000 dead brothers and sisters. Can you believe that number? 400,000? How can 400,000 Americans die under one president? This man got to go. And thank God, the light of peace, love, prosperity, and reuniting of our society and our system of constitutional democracy. We shall pray will be stronger than ever. We shall pray will be more American than ever. It will represent every group of Americans in this country so that all of us can experience a sense of liberty, of true pride, of true dignity, of true participation in our democracy as Americans. Not as they and them or us and your and all these kind of things. No. And that's why Kentucky U.S. Senator Mitch McConnell must resign. He must go. We are on a new path. We need to breathe. We need a fresh air. We need a new leadership of conscious thinking, empathetic people, considerate people, people who love America and Americans. Not only a group of Americans, not only the race supremacists, not only the races, but Americans today. A diverse, great American society today. Our time is now. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris represent a renewed era in Americanism, American constitutional democracy, peace and stability, equal protection and equal rights under the law of the United States of America. God bless the United States of America and the American people. Freedom of speech, criticism, and the powers of government. These are the two significant points of my lesson today. I had a third point there. What was the third point? Hold on. Okay, apparently my third point couldn't fit because you only have limited numbers of words you can put up here. But we'll get into my third point as soon as I finish with you too. Because I think my third point had to do with the third point had to do with our banking section. Because the reason why I did 2 points, oh yes, the ex-soldiers. The third point had to do with the ex-soldiers. So let me deal with this second point. Freedom of speech, criticisms, and the powers of government. Every time Liberian people come to evaluate our society and our people, we must understand that our society is not a new society. Our government is not a new government. Our government has been in existence for nearly 2 centuries now. But over the past few years, from Ellen Johnson Sirleaf until now, we have seen right in this short span of 15 years, we are seeing different kinds of leadership that got Liberian people more confused and complex than ever before. We look at Ellen Johnson Sirleaf era of freedom of speech, dealing with the press, dealing with the Liberian society, rampant corruption under her government. And you see Ellen Johnson Sirleaf knew quite well that when George Weah takes over from her, he will screw the country up so bad that the gullible Liberian people will see her as an angel and George Weah as a demon. But only foolish people will see it like that. Not a man like me. Because I know better. I see better. And I wrote something on my page about Ellen Johnson Sirleaf versus George Weah, and somebody said Ellen Johnson was 100% better. What do you expect? Ellen Johnson is more educated. She graduated from the best university in America. She works for the World Bank. She's an experienced economist. How do you compare this woman to George Weah? George Weah is zero. He's minus zero. He below Ellen Johnson to the furthest extent. We can't compare George Weah with Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, and that what makes me mad. Because her foolish strategy is working on my Liberian people. The only thing is, I am there to stop it, to open your eyes and tell you think. How will Ellen Johnson Sirleaf serve for 12 years and George Weah serve for only 3 years and he be blamed for the massive destruction, stealing, corruption in Liberia? No. I want George Weah to be punished for his share. But it got to be his fair share. It got to be his fair share. Now let's look at our country. We talk about Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Right between November and December of last year, let me add October there. October, November, December. The deaths that occurred in our country were in that period. The unexplained reports that the government has failed to give us on the deaths of all these people in our country. The auditors, the 3 missing boys, the girls, little girls and things that are getting killed and missing in our country. There's no accountability from our government. Our government is useless. So that one of the first instances, we got so many problems in our country. Besides that, we got the freezing our country by the legislature and lawmakers. They are the biggest rogues in our country. George Weah stealing. They're carrying home $45,000 a month. What hope is there for the masses of our people? Huh? How would there be freedom of speech in a society where everything getting missing? Everything unaccounted for. Nobody taking responsibility of our country. Nobody mature enough to start investigating the various ills that go on in our country. Darius Dillon can't do everything. Normally, Ganga can't do everything. They're just coming into existence. How will we change our society, man? They're stealing too much. Then Costa want to come and start his show in Liberia. They're not giving any good explanation as to why the man can't start his show. They call D15 radio station and tell them that Costa cannot put his show in the air because he's critical of the government and he's a fugitive. They didn't give no document. They didn't write no letter. They made a phone call. So right there on the phone call, that they say, because if you don't write me an official letter telling me your reasons Why you want me to stop my program on the show if they're against the law or against the government's position? You can't call me on the telephone. I'm a business entity. When you talk to me on the telephone, how can I file your voice? I can't file your voice. But in every instance where the government interjects itself into the private sector, there must be documentation. There must be. And if there aren't any documentation, it's on the private entity. It's on you. Because you know the laws and contracts and rules you sign. And yet the government telling you you can't do this. It happened under Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. It happened under this administration. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf was more sophisticated in doing hers, in closing radio stations, in locking down what she didn't want. She was more sophisticated, and the Liberian people didn't know any better. And those that were in power that could talk, like Vonnie Sherman, all those people were busy bribing people then. And still now, that's how he got caught. You think Vonnie Sherman just started bribing people to be able to bribe our legislature, our courts? These are things we suffer under. Then you're crying, say no peace, no fairness, no justice in the country. How would there be any justice in the country? Let me continue. So now, we come to find out that Darius Dillon is on the board of D15 radio, and normally Kanga is a member of the radio station staff or some all kind of mix-up thing. And Darius Dillon is speaking for his organization and saying that if there's no documentation as to why the government wants Costa Show to be taken off the air, if there's no proof of charges against Costa, and Costa Show cannot be removed from the air just because he criticizing the government. Government got other remedies. They can sue Costa. They can go through the courts to seek to close the station, to punish him, or file suits of slander and libel against him and his people. So why will you call the station and make that kind of request verbally? So if D50 go and take Casa off the air and Casa sue them for breaking their agreement to air his show from 7 to 9 or whatever they said they were going to 9 in the morning, and they move his show off the air, and he sues them, and they come and say that people call you, then the government comes and say, well, we never called them. We never called them. We just said it was against the station. What proof would the station have to defend itself against Costa? And this was the same thing Darius Dillon was trying to point out. They're a private entity. Government cannot call them and make requests of them that will hamper their business, their progress and advancement, their programming. They're not a government entity. They're paying taxes. They got licenses. And like I pointed out in one of my written statements to somebody who mentioned that, who had this government contract of the license for Deep Bushwar Radio, saying that it was from March to December 2020. And I told you, I said the year just ended. We're in a new year. People have been taking care of last year. November, December are the busiest months in our year. You got Christmas, you got New Year, 2 holidays, the seasonal holidays right there. And these are the busiest time for businesses to make money. especially the radio station, the stores, because people want to advertise this stuff. People want people to know what's happening for the Christmas season. So nobody got time for registering business and all that kind of thing. So when the month end from those 2 months, nobody going to rush to register business licenses. People thinking about accounting for all the things they spend, doing inventory of the last year to get everything up together before they open up. And Darius Dillon came and said it. That's why they gave them until March to register their business. Because any business starting in January or got to register in January, it will be difficult, especially if it's a public business, dealing with people during the seasons. Okay? So that's the first thing. You know, we have problems. And poor Costa, he said, Joy, we are them leave him alone. Mama, you in politics. They ain't gonna leave you alone. You talking against the government. Why would they leave you alone? You put in the people government and they're grave seeking. They're stealing everything in the open so we can prosecute them. You expect them to leave you alone? They ain't gonna leave you alone. You know, right now, we're facing all these problems in our country. The passport problem, the stealing problem, all these criminals in our country. Excuse my telephone. All the criminals in my country. We ain't gonna deal with them right now. Because we got too many things to consider. We got to lay out how we're going to prosecute these people, how we're going to pursue all these things that matter to us. How we're going to do that. So we got to lay a foundation of how we're going to do it. I bet you right now, Jackie Appiah and all her family got Liberian diplomatic passport. Because if Joe we are there selling it to rebels, why about her girlfriend and family right in Ghana when she can come to Liberia without checking her bags or anything or traveling anywhere to meet George Weah? Why they won't check her bags? No. But when our passports are stolen, when our government is corrupt, when our government doesn't want to be criticized, when our government know that if they are criticized, free speech will spoil their governmental leadership. So why do they permit free speech? We got laws, but there are many ways to curtail free speech. Coercion, undue influence, force, outright force, use of arms. So there are many things could happen in our country. But as our country stands right now, the corruption too much. Let me continue. So we got the criticism issue. Government doesn't want to be criticized. Government doesn't want any opposition, not even political. No opposition at all. Right in the society, they don't want people talking against the government. So, right there, there's a problem. There's a problem. Let me put on my topic again so people can see it. There's a problem. You know, you can't have freedom of speech. You can't have criticism of the government. The powers of the government are the supreme power of the land. And with all the things that have been going on in this year alone, just the past 4 or 5 months before December 8th election, the thing that has been going on is so terrible in our country. George Weah them have killed people. They have failed to account for killing people. They are in conspiracy with St. Moses. How the man would have people disappear, try to escape from the country, get caught, brought back, and the government still using him as a partner in business. Something is wrong here. Something is terribly wrong. Okay? Now, our passports, our children, our auditors, huh? Now, that's a good position Darius Dillon took. They gave them until tomorrow to write a formal statement telling them why they got to take CASA off the air. What are the proofs? The actions they are taking against CASA that warrants him to be taken off the air. Nobody know about these charges. CASA case stay in court. Another radio station, Punch FM, still in court. The Chief Justice hasn't brought the case up. Darius Dillon appealing to the Chief Justice now and demanding that he brings up the case of Punch Radio. So when their part of the case go there, it can't be the same prolonged issue. We can't continue with this thing. This is a new era. And besides that, they threaten the radio station. They threaten them. If your put CASA on, we'll take some action against you. What action you take against us? You haven't demonstrated to us what actions you have against CASA. What has CASA done? What has he done? And for our country to be free, for our people to have freedom of speech, for us to be able to criticize the government so it can use its powers as per the constitution and laws of our country, we have to stand up. We have to speak out. Too many things going on in our country that is dysfunctional, that incorrect, unfair. Let's get to the next one. This printing money business in our country. This is the other thing that's killing our country. 1991, they printed the Liberty Note. 1999, they printed the Liberty Note. 2016, Ellen people got together and printed notes again. The advanced notes, or whatever they call it. We got $4 million, $25 million to do the mop-up exercises, to collect all the old money so the new money can be circulated. That money disappeared. Now we're talking about printing new money. We just printed $4 billion for the election. We can't account for that. What's happening in our country? Okay? Now the Liberian, the bank is saying that to resolve all the problems in Liberia, to resolve all the monetary problems, so that banks can have money, so our system can be lucrative again with money, and people will get their money back. They need $27 Liberian billion printed. They need to print $27 billion. But the point is, where do we get the money from to print the $27 billion? Because to print that kind of money, they need $27 million. So we're caught in a catch-22 situation. So the Legislative Committee for Budgetary and all these kind of things, they call Talu, Julu Aloysius Talu, who is the CBL, Central Bank of Liberia, governor. They call him to the legislature to explain why he needs to print some more money, why there's no money in the bank. So the committee said they wanted an explanation because all this money they're printing, they just print that $4 billion. They want an explanation as to why there's a discrepancy with the money in the country and why we keep printing money. So these are the reasons he gave. Okay. One, he said that because of COVID-19, that was the first excuse, that the biggest excuse they're giving every country now. All over Africa, COVID-19. But that's a fact. Because nobody was anticipating this pandemic. But we had enough time to take anticipatory actions to preserve the money. And that's why I make our leaders farsighted. When you see them closing down the society like that, your job in the financial sector is to be farsighted, to think what we need when they lock the society down, to keep money in this liquidity of cash in the country. We saw the Sierra Leone people talking about the same thing. Their banking institution had to take advanced insight and precautions because they saw things locking down. Okay? That was one of the points he had. That is valid. The second one is the high demand for money during our two festive occasions. One, July 26th, and two, Christmas season. So they're saying we ran out of cash between July and December. So if we were running out of cash from July, why they couldn't anticipate that Christmas was coming too? But when the people stealing and stealing and stealing have no real excuse for stealing, no means to replenish the money they're stealing, they got to come up with excuses. So that the second point, they say everybody was spending money and the money was going around for 26 and for Christmas. So that was another thing that stopped the flow of money in the country. Thirdly, they say there are limited ATMs. There are only 157 ATMs in the whole country. So what that has to do with people getting their money out of the ATM? The next one, they said, December 8th special election, senatorial election, was another cause. But we know why. All of us saw Fala giving up money that he never had. We all saw the money that came on the counter for. So this is another reason. But they will not tell us that they divided the money recklessly. They will say because of the special election. What was so special about that election? Now they're saying there's a high amount of currency circulating in the community that's not in the bank. People don't want to put their money in the bank. And one of the big groups we depend on to put money in our banks are the Susu people. The people that keep their group money together. They're not doing it because when they go in the bank, they can't get their Susu money. And the Susu process is a process where everybody got to get paid at a certain time, if you know the Susu process. So if that's your time to get your money, you can't get your money because no money in the bank, the whole Susu system is broken down. It's broken down. It becomes destroyed. So those people decided, no, we can't put our money in the bank either. Because when it's time to get our money back to pay the people who's supposed to receive that part of Susu, we can't pay them. Okay? So that's another problem. Then again, we got the old money The old money is still out there. We got the liberty, we got the advanced money. We got two monetary systems out there, two cash systems, two cash banknotes. So to get the old banknote back that they gave the map of money for, that disappeared too, they're saying that people are hoarding the money. They say of the $25.3 billion Liberian dollars that's supposed to be in circulation in the country, all over the country, people are supposed to be going to the bank and getting the money. Out of that amount, 22.5 billion Liberian dollars cannot be accounted for. So these are all money, people hiding, not putting in the bank. They got more money hidden out of the bank than what's circulating in the bank. Because it's 22 billion, it's outside the banking sector. Then you got only $3 or $4 billion in the sector. So how can we function like this? So those money are old, and that's another problem too. He mentioned here. He said they need to circulate the money. They need to make more new money. The money too old. The money is being torn. It's so dirty. They want to try. They want to exchange the money, but they can't get the money because people are not giving it up. So these are the problems we're facing. Then he talk about the printing of the banknotes again. I started talking about it. We got the Liberty. We got the advanced Ellen Johnson selling them banknote, where they printed the banknote and money disappeared, the $16 billion disappeared, and all these kind of things. These are the things impacting our country and society. And the bank governor is telling our legislature that there is no confidence in the banking system in Liberia. There is no confidence. There's no confidence. And as I said again, our social people are some of the biggest depositors in our bank. And they're not doing it no more. You know how many social clubs we got in Liberia? There are many. And these people refuse to put their big amounts of money in the bank. No, because they cannot access the money. No money in the bank. The government stealing the money on one side that's supposed to build up the banking system. The people on the other side don't trust the government, so they're not circulating the money. They're keeping it home. And that's not only the Liberian sector, the foreign business sector too. This is what our country has become. A bankrupt nation of rogues. Okay? Let's move on. So and to add on to all this kind of thing in our country, to add on to all this dysfunctional mess going on in our country, we have that sector of our country that don't like to pay a loan. Who do you think they are? Most of the government officials. Most of the government officials, they become government officials and take these huge loans that the bank don't refuse them because of their positions. Now when they get the position and they lose their jobs or something happened to them along the way, they don't pay the people loan back. You know how many delinquent loans there are in the Liberian banking system? And that's another thing that hampering our country. How people will still giving loans to a government, to people in the private sector, when the people have no responsibilities to pay their loan back? Why would you continue to operate a banking system like that? So that's another thing that's killing us. You see, all these things killing us, that all of that add to the problems. So the mutilated notes, all those dirty, nasty notes, they come up to $10.4 billion. So just mutilated notes alone, besides the one that other people hoarding, the ones that already torn and dirty and almost falling apart, 10 billion Liberian dollars like that. Those money need to be circulated. They need to be changed. The bank governor said that they infuse new money into the public every 3 years. They start pulling the old money out and putting new money in, because that's how long it takes for the money to start getting mutilated and decaying. Okay? So we got all these problems in our country. We got all these problems. Then we move on again. They mop up $4 billion. They say of that amount, $3.5 million already dished out. I don't know what they mean by already dished out. But he said $3.5 million already dished out. What does that mean? What does that mean? I don't understand it. Dished out where? Okay? They say they dish out to commercial banks. Not through the Central Bank of Liberia, but through commercial banks. So how did that $4 million get out of the commercial bank and into commercial bank where there's no check and balance on that money? The bank saying $3.5 billion already dished out. So that means there's no accountability for that money. Okay? Then we go on again. After they bring out all these things about the money business, the legislature want to go behind closed doors. Then here in the community again, the central bank manager is pissed off. Even the legislature pissed off because Samuel McGill and his side squeeze, Natalia McGill and his side squeeze, Samuel Twer, going out to the Liberian people and telling them that they need to print new money, but the legislature is holding it up and refusing. So this was the reason why the banking committee of the legislature invited the general manager in to show cause why our finance minister and minister of state going around saying that the government had requested something from the legislature and that is a lie. The legislature has not received any requests from the government, Nathaniel McGill, or Samuel Twer for the printing of any new money. But they go around in the public saying that they did that, but the legislature is holding it up. So my people, these are the issues we're facing in our country. These are the issues we're facing. Our government is corrupt. Our government is inept. There is no way monies will just be getting missing and now our people being killed to silence them. How long will this thing go on? Now another disgruntled thing happening in our society. The ex-soldiers won't burn down all the banks. Oh man, from one disgruntled mess to another mess. You see our country, the people are frustrated. There are so many groups in our country frustrated because our government officials have stolen the wealth of our country. From Ellen Johnson Sirleaf down to George Weah. And she put George Weah there because she knows George Weah will mess up so bad with the stealing, with the incompetence, with the corruption. People will forget about her. But Chesson not forgetting about you, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, because Chesson is smart. There's no way you will serve for 12 years with your son, your sisters, and your family. And George Weah, you cross the party line and go pick a dummy footballer or slum footballer and make him president of our country over Joseph Boca. The oldest government official ever. We think he's supposed to have wisdom, we hope. But you jump over Boca. Then you go pick the raw idiot, the raw dummy, the raw useless criminal to be president of our country. So what you expect now? I know better, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. George Weah cannot just destroy the country by himself in 3 years. George Weah is dumb, but not that dumb. And you smart, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, but not that smart. Chesson on your case. You're a criminal. You're a witch. And you're putting our country in extreme danger. Now, the soldiers, all their money is stolen. They can't get their benefits. They can't get their pension. 9,000 soldiers can't get their benefits. Then you threaten them. See, if you try anything, you'll face the law. You get the people 72 hours. The 72 hours expire. You can't do nothing. The captain, Collie, for the Committee of Unconstitutional Disband Veterans or something like that. Then you come, you threaten the man. The people ain't get paid for years. Their children are going to school. They're suffering all the inhumanities that you can afford to impugn them with. Then they're crying and mad and want to burn every damn bank because only your money in the bank. Only you're getting money out of the bank. The masses of Liberian people not getting money. Then you want to stop them? Burn it down. Burn it down. Burn it down. But my people, this is my lesson today. That's why I didn't put any number 3 lesson down, because our country is just going backward. Backward. And there's no rationale or reason why all this stealing is just going on. How much will you people steal? You can't account for nothing. You can't print no more money. The money is finished. Stop it. My young children, my lesson is done. I'm happy that America today is getting rid of the other racist and criminal Donald Trump. Mitch McConnell need to follow him. He's an enabler of Donald Trump. He's a racist. He's a race supremacist. And he has no place in the American Congress or government after what happened on January 6, 2021. Mitch McConnell is an enabler of a traitor, of a racist, and of a man who tried to overthrow the government of the United States of America. Mitch McConnell is a traitor like Donald Trump, and there's no place for men, old men, racist old men, and traitors in American society. My young children, I'm only here to enlighten you. I'm only here to tell you how bad things are. And we can't condone it. We can't. America is straightening her act with Joe Biden. When are we going to straighten our act with Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and George Weah? Ellen Johnson Sirleaf can't die without facing her punishment. We're all stripping that Nobel Peace Prize from around her neck and throwing it in the ocean. She doesn't deserve it. And our country don't need to be under that cloud of a false Nobel Peace Prize recipient. My children, rise. Liberia is ours. And until we stand as warriors for our own country, we are nothing but useless men of Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and her son, Robert, the flipper of Liberian men. My lesson is done. Have a good day.